Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
2 minutes past 8 o'clock this Tuesday morning on the Integrity Station, Splash 106.7 FM. Good morning to you and yours. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for lending us your ear since we began programming from 5 a.m. this morning up until now. You've listened to an array of rich, educative, informative programming. We had Papa Lori Papa at 6:30. We also had Tipuntedo at 7 to 8. And now our train is currently at the Panorama bus stop, which is where we'll be from now until some minutes before 10, where we'll then take off and allow the Jawasi crew to come on board at 10 a.m. But of course, you already know this because you listen quite regularly. But if you don't, well, that's what it's been like so far, and that is what to expect for the next few hours. Of course, there are other great programs in store for you for the rest of the day on Splash 106.7 FM. But on Panorama here, we like to think of it as a current affairs program where we look at issues, matters arising that affect us as Nigerians. Sometimes we go local, sometimes we go nationwide. The odd time we go international, you know, if it really affects us as Nigerians. And so that is what we do. We select a particular topic, an issue of the day, so that we can sort of take a microscopic look at it for 1 hour. That segment we call our issue of the day. And then from 9 to 10, we take an array of stories, different stories, diverse stories from the front pages of the national dailies, that one we call From the Pages. All through this, you can be an active participant of the show. Of course, as you're listening, you're already a participant of the show, but you can go one step further and comment on the stories or the story that we take. You can do so via social media channels. On Facebook, if you search Splash FM 106.7, you'll find our page, so you can follow us, like the page. You can also watch the live stream that we have up, which means you get to watch the layout of the studio. You get to watch and listen as you follow along. You also get to comment in the comment section on our Facebook live stream. On Twitter, we're there too at Splash FM 1067. And if you'd like to tweet at us at any point in the show, simply tag our handle at Splash FM 1067. Follow us and then hashtag Panorama on Splash as you tweet. Also, WhatsApp is there for you, for your convenience. You can simply shoot us a message on WhatsApp to the number 0817 555 1067. Now that you know all the ways that you can be a part of the show, an active part of the show, it's time to introduce myself. I am Lola Meduteni. Good morning.
Morning to you. Thank you very much for being a part of the program. My name is Boyega Olaniyi. If you have been following this program, I'm sure you're aware that we've been talking about the need to register for your PVC because the day of reckoning is almost upon us. And by the end of next month, INEC will shut the door on this CVR exercise. So it's important that you do not wait last minute, like Lola has been telling you, but just to put things in perspective. As at yesterday, 7 a.m., the update which INEC dropped on social media, Ogun State, it has been 233,567 online voter registration. But the part where it now gets interesting is at the point of the completed registration. Completed registration stands at 121,582. So that
And
means
that's the one that counts.
that's the one that counts. So it means that you've registered online, but you're yet to now go to the office for capturing and whatever else needs to be done. And it's something that across the Southwest, that is the case. Because in Osun, for instance, there are over 700,000 online registrants. But when you look at the completed registration, you find just 360,000, just about half of that figure. And it's like that in several states, but more peculiar is the case of the Southwest. Lagos, for instance, about 459,000 online registrants. But when you now look at completed registration, just 177,000. So if you're listening to me now and you've just only crossed the hurdle of the online registration, please take it a step further. Go ahead and go to the INEC local government office close to you and try to complete this registration. Without this registration, you cannot vote in 2023. So it's important. But another interesting figure, when we look at the completed registration, the total stands at 5 million. That's across the country now. 5,415,619.
Of completed
registrants. The youth, that's those between the ages of 18 to 34, represent 3,745,129 of that figure. So it's encouraging, at least, to say, but it's important that we still get ourselves to the center and do the needful.
Absolutely. All of this talk, as I like to say, all of this talk on Panorama is moot. It is futile if, in the end, you don't exercise your civic responsibility to vote during elections. But before you can even vote, you have to be eligible. And to be eligible, you have to have a permanent voter's card. This has been ongoing since last year. So really, what's your excuse if you've been putting it off? In June, you said you were going to do it in July. You said so in August and September. We're already in May, and it's about a month before registration closes for the PVC. So at that point, no amount of wishing you had done it is going to change the fact that you didn't. So not only should you get your PVC, go register online and physically. Okay, you have to complete the step. Also encourage other people around you to do so. And I'm sure there'll be more of a crowd in these last few weeks as there have been in the last few months. But you shouldn't let that deter you. Set aside a day. Talk to your employer. I'm sure, your employer should be reasonable to know that, you're trying to make things better for everyone.
The good about all of this now is that you can go to the local government offices. It doesn't have to only be the state office. You can go to the local government office nearest to you to complete this registration. But I'm also impressed at the completed registration from the South. Rivers, about 268,000. Bayelsa, about 270,000. And, someone was talking this morning on Twitter and saying that, was it that the people of Bayelsa knew that Goodluck Jonathan was going to be on the ballot? Because that's some numbers there. And considering that they have arguably one of the least number of people, population across the country, and they've been able to pull through with.
I think that's about the highest from what I can see here.
There's Delta too with 282,000.
Okay.
So Bayelsa is second across the country.
So both highest, the two states with the highest number of completed registrants happen to be in the south.
Even Bayelsa,
no, the three, because I can see Rivers coming up behind
268.
Bayelsa.
And I think Kano comes close now with 235,000, and that's.
They say put your money where your mouth is. Yes. So it is said that we in the Southwest, we're educated, we're literate. As I said, all of that is moot if when push comes to shove, they cannot translate into voting numbers. So make sure you go out there and get your PVCs. The INEC state all local government offices will be open between the hours of 9 and 3. And that's 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. So pick any day that's convenient for you and make sure to get it done. Also, I believe pickups are still on for those who registered last year between June and December. So if you registered last year between June and December, the thing is there are several stages and you have to go through all of them in order to make it to the final cut. So it's not enough for you to simply register online. It's not enough even for you to register physically. You also have to pick up your card and you also have to use it on election day. So you have to make sure you go through all the stages. So you register online, you register physically, you complete your registration, you pick it up when it's ready, and on election day you use it. That is how you become a true Nigerian.
The only way you can stop hearing about this is if you stop listening to Splash, which I know is not an option, because we will keep talking about it, because we know that in 2023 we must all be responsible for our actions and also be responsible for who leads us as a nation.
I mean, the numbers in past election, the numbers post-election of people who voted is always less than half, I believe. It's always less than half. So, and I think we can do better. I hear lots of people who turn out to be aghast at the numbers from the north, saying, oh, they're bringing all sorts of, but that's how they get those numbers, because their people go out there, register, get their PVCs, and vote on election day. So please, please, please register, vote on election day. All right. Well, our issue of the day is now next on our agenda. And today we'll be looking at the PDP, the People's Democratic Party. We'll be probing matters that have arisen as the PDP gets ready for its primaries. Now, the PDP has actually released its schedule of activities for its primaries. And going by what I found on one of the newspapers, the PDP is set to hold its House of Reps primaries on the 20th of May, Friday, Senate primaries on the 21st of May, governorship primaries on the 23rd of May, and the presidential primaries on the 28th and 29th of May. I also have it here that it's also holding its local government congress to elect one national delegate per local government area today, actually, the 10th of May. That's according to what I found. And also the State House of Assembly Congress next Wednesday on the 18th. But ahead of these primaries and as these congresses are holding, there have been several issues that have already come up, not to mention it's political season, so there are bound to be several intrigues that have propped up. So we're going to be looking at those, and we're expecting the chairman of the Ogun State PDP, that's Alhaji Sikirullahi Ogundele, is to be our guest this morning. He's running a bit late. He had to make some bit of a sacrifice to be here this morning, as I'm aware that he's been journeying in the last few days to see to some pertinent issues. But he should be joining us anytime now. So we'll take a short break, and then when we return, we'll begin with our issue of the day.
Alrighty, let me find out.
call you back. Let me call you back.
Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama. Panorama.
Panorama.
Panorama on Splash 106.7 FM.
Hello, sir. Please say something. Hello? Hello, sir. It's not connecting. Let me see. Hello, sir. Oh, all right then. You can hear me. Just doing a mic check. Hello and welcome back. Apologies for the delay. We did say that we're trying to get in touch with our guests who are supposed to be here live, but due to unavoidable circumstances will now join us via the phone lines. All right, without further ado, let's get on with it. In the build-up to general elections for the Houses of Assembly, governorship and presidential positions, there are several stages that come before the main course. Before the nation at all levels decides who to pitch their tent with, candidates must first emerge from political parties by way of whatever primary option the party chooses. That is the stage we are currently at.
According to the schedule of activities for the 2023 general elections released by INEC, conduct of party primaries, including the resolution of disputes arising from them, is pegged between the 4th April 2022 to the 3rd of June 2022. The People's Democratic Party, just like its PDP counterpart, has fixed date within that window to conduct its primaries, settling on the 23rd of May for governorship primaries and the 28th to 29th of May for presidential primaries. Other primaries will precede this date.
However, even as Congress is to elect delegates who will in turn elect the party's flag bearers have held, several intrigues have come up, and our issue of the day this morning will take an in-depth look at this, as well as other matters arising before the PDP primaries. And joining us via the phone is PDP Ogun State Chairman, Alhaji Sikirullahi Ogundele. Good morning to you, sir.
Hello, good morning, my sister and my brother over there. And the listener and everybody listening to us at homes. I say good morning to you, and I want to tender unreserved apology for not coming physically to the program. So coincidentally, we're having a delegate election, as you have rightly mentioned, and one has just got to settle some of the rows that are likely to. So we won't need to prevent some of the problems that are likely to crop up. So that's just the main reason why I won't be able to make it to your station this morning. So please kindly accept my apology.
No problem, that's fine. We wish you all the best in whatever it is that you have to do today. But let's get to these issues now. How ready is the PDP in Ogun State? Let's start from there. INEC has set out its, schedule, and political parties have to abide by that schedule. So, how ready is the PDP now to abide by INEC's
thank you very
regulation and
much
schedule?
for that question. 2 years back, that I emerged as the chairman of the party, I made 3 promises to the people. One of the promises to run all party inclusive administration, all inclusive party administration. 2, to unite the party. Some of all the members that broke out of the party, I promised to, convince them to some extent that we are going to run human face party administration. What led to some of all these losses? We've gone to the drawing board, we have checked it, and we've been able to know some of the reasons why we lost. It was due to poor management of a little misunderstanding that broke up, that came up around that time, and it was badly managed. Some people felt so groused, and they decided to leave the party. And one of the major reasons why we lost some of all these elections, some broke into different political parties. That was when we had PPN, ADC, Mega Party, Labour. But to God be the glory, I have successively worked on all these people and their back to the party. That's number one, preparation to get power back from the misrule of the party in power. Yet we are ready to go to the pool, and I don't have any doubts in my mind that come 2023, I'm seeing PDP bouncing back, because the credible people have come back to the party, and working towards getting our affairs back to governance. And again, if you considering the insensitivity of the party in power, considering the hardship Nigerians are going through, considering the fact that these people got themselves into offices based on lies, deceit, and propaganda, and people are now, getting to know the fact. In our village, they used to say one thing. They used to say one proverb. The proverb says that if a woman has not tasted 2 husbands, she will not know the sweet taste. The people of Ogun State, Nigerians, they have tasted the responsive administration of PDP. But now, as I'm speaking with you, PDP has little jobs to do. PDP has just little campaign to do, considering the hardship people are going through in the hands of APC. Am I now to go to the market and tell them how much the essential commodity prices are? Am I need to still tell them how many people, the high level of insecurity in this country, how many people that have been slaughtered today? Am I still need to go and tell them that, the meaning of restructuring that was ignorantly used in 2015 to cajole Nigerians for their votes? Now they don't, the head of the leader, the father figure of the administration is now telling us it doesn't know what restructuring stands for. Am I going to tell you how snakes has been swallowing our money that has never been heard in the history of this country? How monkeys are chopping money? So that's another style of corruption that's being introduced by this administration. There are so many things to come back to the state. the penny-wise, pounds-foolish project that have been embarked upon Nigeria. I mean, people of Ogun State are so sophisticated enough to know that the what we are running in Ogun State, government without strategic planning. Strategic planning has got to do with the blueprints, the plans that the government has for its people. But today, what we are running in Ogun State today is a government of tiki-taka. Tiki-taka in Latin means that you wake up in the morning and embark on whatever that comes to your head. There is no plan. They are not connected with the people. Where people need water, they are building houses. Where people need roads, they are building something else. Look at the modern schools. Look at the modern schools we have in Ogun State today. Over 24 of these abandoned schools. If the cost of one of the buildings is being used to renovate sensibly, the cost of just one building, one of these modern schools can renovate all the dilapidated structures we have in our schools today in Ogun State. So this is what tiki-taka, penny-wise, pounds-foolish projects that I mentioned means. So,
right. Let's look now.
So PDP is prepared. PDP, let's go spiritual now. Let's go spiritual. God just got annoyed with PDP. That's why, and God just wanted to show PDP leaders and their members that he is the God and is the Alpha and Omega. He is the one that can do and undo. PDP committed some atrocities, no doubt about it. PDP committed atrocities, and I think, and I want to believe PDP had been forgiven. Because if PDP had not been forgiven, this sector of people that are in government today will have gotten it right. But God has forgiven PDP. That's why these people are failing Nigerians. That's
Alhaji
why
Ogundele,
government,
I want to ask you
Yes.
categorically, can you say that there is no factionalization within your party right now? The whole party is
Yeah.
united with
Thank
one
you.
faction.
I said it when in my opening speech. I said, to God be the glory. I have successfully brought everybody under that big umbrella of PDP.
Okay, well, let's talk now about...
There is no faction in the party. The party is solidly one, and we are ready to get power back to.
Okay, let's talk now about the delegates. As you said, there's a Congress holding today to elect a national delegates across the local governments. And even before now, we've seen delegates across the Southwest, across the nation even, being courted by presidential hopefuls and even other hopefuls. Atiku has come to Ogun State. Saraki has come to Ogun State. Peter Obi has come to Ogun State. Last week, we had Demola Olariwaju, who is a member of your party in Lagos, and he gave us a crash course on how the delegate system works. He broke it down in detail for us. He also spoke about how delegates are sometimes bought over by those with the biggest pockets, which could cost the party in the medium to long term, according to him. As chairman of the party, can you assure that the delegates in Ogun State for the presidential, gubernatorial, National Assembly, State House of Assembly primaries, can you assure that they will vote based on the competence, the qualification, and the pedigree of the candidates, and not loyalty bought over by money or other selfish interests?
Thank you very much for following the trend of things in our party. You have rightly enumerated the numbers of aspirants that have appeared or that have come to us in Ogun State, and honestly, you got it right. So many people have come to show their intention. So many people have come to seek for our support and our vote. Um, like I said, PDP of those days is different to the PDP you are seeing today. PDP has been, is rebranded. PDP is coming up in a very, I mean, in a very, we are starting on a very clean slate, and some of the measures we put up to carefully select who to be the flag bearer. One of those measures are one, we have conducted screening exercise to look into the credibility, the papers and all that, the credentials of some of all these aspirants. And I want to tell you with all sense of responsibility that we are good to go. We are very, very good to go. Some of the people that we will be presenting to the pool will be very credible ones. Yes, it is political for one to aspire. It's allowed, constitutionally allowed. And like I said at one of the fora, I said to people that I want young ones especially to come and exercise their civic franchise. To come and run elections, and we put up measures that will give that election credibility. We have carefully screened people, aspirants that are willing to run elections for House of Assembly, House of Rep, House of Senate. We have carefully chosen them. And we have carefully screened them, and we are going to go to the primary in a short period, and the best will emerge. PDP is now, I can tell you for free, that PDP is not just going to run elections with Dick and Harry. We're going to, the people that we're putting up, the best of APC cannot match the list of a PDP's candidates. That I can tell you for free.
All right.
Who,
Let's talk about this delegates election now.
yeah.
According to reports, there was a protest by some PDP members here in Ogun State. So, make us understand. There was an election for delegates before, because this report is saying that some members of your party staged a peaceful protest where they're saying that they accused the state working committee of collaborating with the NWC to disqualify popular delegates and adopt unpopular delegates. They even went as far as saying that the party or the state ESCO accepted the election of delegates who are loyal to a particular governorship aspirant in the state, and decided to overturn those who are not loyal to that same aspirant. So, how do you react to this, Chairman?
Mm-hmm. Yes, in all contests, talking less of elections, in our social club elections or contests, some people, it is bound to happen that some people will feel aggrieved, some people will be groused, and it all depends on the damage control or the measures we put in place to appeal to our people or appease them, that matters. In all contests, it is bound to happen. It is bound to happen to have people that are groused. So, in all elections, one person will win. In all contests, it is certain that one person will, at the end of the day, emerge as a winner. So that's exactly what happened last Congress election. some people felt aggrieved and they showed their grievance. And it has been taken to the appropriate quarters. We shall look into it, and it's all about our internal issue, and it will be, I mean, carefully managed so that it won't lead to bad blood creation or kind of misconceptions that probably used to lead to misjudgments over some issues. I want to tell you that we'll carefully deal with it. We're carefully going to do the needful so that people are not really going to be extremely groused. So it's our internal issue that has to be handled internally and it's political. I mean, in all contests, one person is going to win, and we are bound to have issues like this. So, with all my level of exposure and understanding and my credibility, I don't have any doubt that it will be well managed and handled. Thank you.
Right. At the heart of that protest, though, and the petition which was signed by 18 of the local government chairmen, is what they're claiming is imposition of delegates and candidates. Is this something that you can say that the party is not guilty of imposing delegates and candidates?
The party has never imposed candidates. The party has never been tried in any law of court to have been guilty of any of their actions. Politically, it is bound to happen. Even in your organization, if the election is to be conducted, I'm sure the empire might be looking at Lola's face and decide to favor her. It is bound, it is natural. Hello?
Yeah, we see you.
We can hear you.
Yeah, it is natural, and there's absolutely nothing we can do to that. But like I've assured you, it will be maturely handled. It's a political issue, and that's to be handled politically. There has now been 18 signatories against the party. That one, I beg to disagree. I beg to disagree with that allegation. And there has not been any signatory to that effect. I don't know if you have one, but there. I mean, I overheard it and I asked my chairman that what's happened, and they said nothing like that has ever happened. So I want to believe it's one of the political Juliet has been referred to, political Ziggy. So,
All right.
So if today's Congress elections now, can you clarify, were the last Congress election cancelled, or were there local governments where a rerun or whatever is taking place now? Just clarify that.
yeah,
before we move forward.
PDP is known to be a party that believes so much in procedural way of doing its things. Procedurally, PDP carefully selected some of its credible members to conduct that Congress, the World Congress. And PDP put up another credible sect of people to come and listen to the appeal to the plight of people that are groused. It has been done, and a report has been written to the national organs of the party, and I don't see any issue coming up again. I think we have settled that today's election is taking place today. That's just one of the reasons why I couldn't make it up coming to your office. And I mean, so far so good. I've never heard of any disagreement. Uh, Things are going on smoothly. In about just few minutes now, the election will be concluded. The national delegates will emerge. There are just 20 national delegates, one per local government, and it's just a procedure of just like about 10-20 minutes. So
if congresses, if congresses are raising up dust already,
yeah.
how about when you now get to the primary election stage, which will be
Like
more
I
keenly
said,
contested?
even at your station there, at your Splash FM, if you are to conduct just internal election, you are bound, the umpire is bound to be alleged to have been favored one or two persons. It's bound to happen. It's natural. It's natural for people to have misconceptions, to have insinuations that at the end of the day, they are going to place wrong judgments on them. So, but if carefully managed, there won't be any problem. That's one of the reasons why I am the chairman of the party. One of the reasons why things are going on very well. One of the reasons why we are hopeful of getting back to governance. It is bound to happen. In all contests, you are bound to have skirmishes, and it all depends on the way you handle it. We are going to handle our own, so our own is even better. I don't refer, I've been so careful choosing my words. Some people don't understand, they don't know the difference between crisis and misunderstanding. In our own case, PDP is only having misunderstanding that has never led to crisis. Crisis, a political crisis, like has been recorded, used to be breaking of heads, throwing chairs, burning of houses, but our own has never led to that. Even in the past, in the days of serious misunderstanding within the party, it has never led to breaking of heads. But check other political parties that the political party that are ruling the country today. They cannot, before they were even able to conduct the ward and the local government, we watched it on telly that people cried when they were being forced to step down. They are not democratically inclined. So what we are seeing from them is expected.
All right.
Alhaji, before we open phone lines, let me go back to my original question, which is,
Yes, sir.
will the delegates that are elected at this local government congress and the ones elected at the ward congress that held on the 30th of April, will they be voting based on the can you assure that they'll be voting based on the competence?
And when you put in your money, you expect proceeds. That's one of the major problems. Will not be considered to be one of the things that will change the minds of the people. We are looking for credibility. We are looking for people of pedigree. People that can win election for us. Those are the people that we are going to select as our candidates. It's not going to be under the influence of money, although politics is all about, it's a game of influence.
All right. Well, let's
but we are going to carefully, some of them have been screened out of the contest based on one or two issues that are likely to cause problem. The remaining ones are really going to be rescreened and be vetted and come out with somebody of good pedigree.
All right. Let's take one or two calls because we didn't start the conversation of time on
On
time.
a lighter mood, I want to believe Lola attended or my brother over there attended some of all these the presidential outings, and I want to believe money did not exchange hands.
Never. We are the integrity station for a reason.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what I wanted to say.
All right.
I know. Splash is very